Alright, what's good? I am making another video today because I had lots of caffeine and I'm really pissed off that the WEF and the globalists are destroying my country. So I'm going to sit here and rant about it until something gets fixed or it reaches someone, even if that's just one person. But I'm probably actually going to start with this little bit of a Bitcoin update because I do cover cryptocurrencies on here quite a bit. So Bitcoin, you had your Sam Bankman-Fried World Economic Forum, Joe Biden money laundering scam happened about right here last week. And if you don't understand what I'm talking about, money laundering scam, please go watch my last video. I kind of break it down. Also, you'd probably be able to find it on Twitter. You might not need to watch my whole video. But right now, to me, it looks like Bitcoin's kind of just traveling along in this wedge. I don't think crypto is in a strong space right now, so I would see more downside. Whether it stays in this wedge or not, I'm not really sure. Obviously, this is speculation. I'm just trying to give you a perspective on the markets. If we go to the 1 day chart, I wanted to show you, you know what, no. Nope, we'll go back to this one. So this white trend line right here is really important. What I wanted to show you Bitcoiners, you can go all the way back to the highs in March. And if you draw a trend line all the way down to where you had your false breakout, it's kind of been an important trend line because you had a false breakout right after you broke above it. And now you're retesting. Let's get rid of this purple stuff so you can see what I'm saying. Now you're retesting this trend line as support again. Eventually, I think you'll probably come down, do a little this, stop there again, maybe come over here. That's if the bear case plays out. But what I wanted to also point out is we're on the 1 hour chart right here. So I have the RSI, which is your relative strength index, and I actually have the relative strength index plotting the moving average convergence and divergence. So what that's letting me kind of plot is the relative strength of the moving averages. And maybe I can get into moving averages sometime in a later video, but basically this purple line dropping below this yellow line is not good news for Bitcoin. You can see it's just it's down 1% just in this past hour. So no, I guess these are 1 hour candles, but down 3%, 2.5% in the last hour. Anyways, so all your risk is to the downside still, at least on the hourly chart, because I think this will probably end up going back down here. And then if you imagine your yellow one, oops, we'll undo that. And then we'll make a new line. I can do that. Okay, just imagine your yellow one's probably going to come down there and do that. Something like that is what I foresee happening here. So right now, so this line hasn't been formed yet. But what I'm saying is all your risk is still to the downside. Whether it gains support here or breaks, who knows? But and at least in the short term on the hourly time frame, this is 3 p.m. on November 14th, 2022. I would say there's still more downside. I wanted to go to the S&P and the Dow because I wanted to call out something that I got completely wrong. There was a video I made 2 weeks ago. I think it was maybe a week ago where I was saying this was going to be a head and shoulders pattern right here. But what ended up happening is you came back and you tested this trend line for support and you ended up having a short squeeze here and here and going even higher. So I just wanted to call myself out on that and let you know that no one who does technical analysis gets 100% win rate. I'm just trying to give you some perspective and some market ideas. But if you look at the MACD and the RSI, which this is the MACD, this is the RSI, all your risk right now is still to the downside. So take a look at what happens if the MACD crosses this orange line, starts heading down this way, and you can see your price starts going that way. Same thing with the RSI. If your purple line crosses that yellow line on your RSI, you tend to head to the other side. Now you're awfully close on each of these. and you just had, think about this, and you just had a 18% rally on the Dow. And I'm doing the Dow because the Dow is like the blue chip kind of like safe stocks. So these are like the really good quality equities that you can get on the US stock market, in my opinion. But anyways, all your risk is still to the downside. If this purple trend line breaks this yellow, I mean, you could head down there. You could do something like this if stocks get higher. But either way, you still got some downside risk, and it looks like it might be getting a little tired. I mean, an 18% rally on the Dow is like huge. So despite getting short squeezed here and here, I still think you have more downside risk considering the wider economy. Let me just try and read you some of the stuff that I've been developing on Wokenomics. So Wokenomics would be the social science of production, distribution, and consumption of moral ideologies by economic agents or via economic agents. So these agents are those who arbitrate the ideology of the woke agenda. So that would be the World Economic Forum, Justin Trudeau. I think one of those ladies, I don't know if she's the premier, the prime minister of Australia. Anyways, anyone who promotes woke ideology. That's kind of what I'm getting at by Wokenomics. So what I'm trying to find out on this channel is how that translates into the Web3 sort of metaverse space and the macroeconomics of the crypto sphere. Because what I want to try and do is basically figure out how the WEF and how these asshole centralized governments are going to, what is their overall plan to subjugate humanity once they complete their reset agenda? Because they're well into the stages of resetting the economy. I mean, debt itself is going through a restructuring. So kind of just sharing some of my thoughts with you guys and some of the justifications of like why my videos are always like, you know, fuck this politician, fuck that, all this is screwed up. Well, it's simply because there are basically, you know, there is a cabal of people, there's a secret organization of people that are really trying to destroy your way of life, and I'm just trying to expose that. So I'm going to be trying to do more research into central bank digital currencies. How might the WEF and other assholes facilitate their wokenomics, their woke agenda? One of the ways is through ESG scores. So ESG is environmental sustainability and governance scores. It's basically like a social credit score for companies, but it's basically going to leak in. They're going to put it into your central bank digital currency, in my opinion. It'll be attached to your wallet. So you'll have an ESG score for your spending habits, and that'll dictate, you know how much meat you can buy, what you can and can't do. So the World Economic Forum has already come out and said that they're trying to redefine the social contract, which would include the implementation of state-sponsored moral ideologies, i.e. wokenomics. So propaganda has a huge role in the creation of this new social contract, this new wokenomics they're trying to introduce to the world. So really just trying to expand on that. And I encourage anyone watching, if you have anything to contribute, please put it in the comments, because we want to have an open discourse about this while we can. I want it to be open, because maybe the channel gets blocked, or we're trying to figure out how the WEF is going to subjugate everyone here on this channel. So these are these are like so rough notes. I can't even believe I'm showing you guys this now, because I don't like showing people my notes because they're so silly. So these are just my notes, guys. You're getting the rough cut. So if anyone can control the energy, then you can control the consumption and other behaviors. So this is why large corporations are wanting to silence the free speech on Twitter. Okay, so yeah, it's really just another control scheme that they're trying to set up with these ESG mandates, because if you can control the conspicuous consumption, then you can control social and moral capital, which means you can control the minds and actions of people in mass if you start giving them scores. Now, in the ESG agenda is just a way to do it in the green way, the cool, oh, we love the earth, we love the environment way. It's like the shiny version of China's social credit score. I mean, it's it's still just bullshit. Yeah, so I was basically arguing that wokenomics is an offset branch of social engineering. So they're going to socially engineer the world and its inhabitants through economics, and a woke version of economics that is called wokenomics. And I'm not the first one to say wokenomics. If we go to this guy, Vivek Ramaswamy, sorry if I mispronounced that, but he wrote a book on, where did it go? It's down here. Which Woke Capitalism, Corporate America's Siege on Democracy, Stakeholder Capitalism. Basically, this guy seems like to be a really smart conservative, but he has already come out and said that corporations, via their wokenomics, are actually really just doing social engineering. And I might be paraphrasing and abbreviating there, but please go read his book. Go do some research for yourself. This is all anecdotal to try and get a conversation started, really. The integrity of people are easier to control when all they want to do is drink, party, and fuck. So part of their social engineering was to create less accountability for people in general. So how do you create less accountability? You give them socialism. You do supply caps. You encourage the party, go have fun, there are no consequences lifestyle, which has completely infected the West, in my opinion. I mean, everyone in their 20s, literally, they just go around, they just fucking do whatever, they sleep with whoever, there's no consequences to their actions. And that's part of the social engineering, because once they destroy the economy, right, which is part of the plan, and I mean, the stock market really isn't the economy, but once the economy itself really is in the shitter, I mean, some could argue that it already is. Some would say that it's not. I mean, my real indicator is when the yield curve uninverts. So whenever these lines start going back down this way, that's when the real crash is going to begin, in my opinion. But where was I going with that? Like, there's so much going on in my head. Basically, once that happens, once the economy is in the shittiest, most terrible place possible, that is the perfect time to implement your social central bank digital currency with an ESG score attached to it. And people are going to be, especially in the United States and other countries full of dumb, woke idiots, they're going to be begging for socialism because they don't want to do any work. They don't want to put any effort. They just want to say, oh my God, give me more stimulus check. You ruined the economy. They don't think about the deeper thing that's going on, which is a control mechanism via propaganda and social engineering and economic engineering. It's really sad. This kind of poetic. The shadow lies in darkness, so I must go to the heart of fear to destroy that which seeks to subvert my light. Yeah. So the subversion of my light and the light, I feel like, of people who want to be free is being carried out by world governments at this time on this planet in this timeline. So you can choose to plunge into the heart of the darkness and destroy the fear, destroy them. Okay, you can stand up and say something about it. You can do something about it. And I'm not saying go be an activist and protest. I'm saying try and take concrete actions in your life, and whether that be defending the right to bear arms. Maybe that means buying guns for you. Maybe that means investing in something that has been a currency for years, like gold. Maybe, it's going to mean different things to different people. I like to try and go on Twitter and engage these assholes. And if I go on Twitter, a lot of the shit that I say that just doesn't get answered. Like, I've gone on Polygon's website, which is, they've already issued digital identities. I've gone on lots of people's Twitters, and I don't necessarily expect to get a response with 20 followers. But what I'm saying is, try and take some concrete actions in your own life to at least fight back in your own head, and let them not subvert you, because subversion is really what they're after. So this was also an interesting point. The role of projection to the woke moralist and the superior social capital that they assume to possess. So it's the obligation and mission of the woke moralist to project their supposedly superior values onto you. Now, that will be carried out through ESG scores, social credit scores, and it's all just a system of control. If you watch Jordan Peterson at all, you would understand what I mean by woke moralists. They think they have like the higher ground, they have the higher perspective, they are of a higher knowledge because their moral values are so vastly superior that they then decide they will project their reality onto you. And what I'm saying is, with this "don't subvert my light," is you cannot allow that to happen in any sense or fashion. You must reject that, and you must create your own reality. So the loss of personal responsibility and accountability ushered in by woke capitalism and moral actives. So yeah, I feel like there's a lot of loss of personal responsibility and accountability. I mean, you can see right now we got these guys. I mean, is anyone going to hold these fuckers accountable? I don't fucking know. I kind of don't think so, since our elections are rigged and everything's completely fucked. I mean, who's going to hold these assholes accountable? I mean, this guy and his mom set up an offshore fucking company in the Bahamas where they fucking move fucking child slaves through on purpose. And this guy fucking, oh man, I'm so pissed. I can't even speak. Yeah, but there's no accountability. It's not like you can walk up to Joe Biden and say, hey, why the fuck did you do this? He's just going to dance around the question or fucking eat ice cream or fucking fall asleep or whatever the fuck he does. More bullshit. The role of the moral activist and how they don't want to do shit but peddling ideas. Yeah, so you can see this. The moral activist is like is like all the people that have been throwing fucking paint on like buildings and shit, throwing paint on like banks. Like, that's not really doing anything. But what is it doing? That's just like coloring a building orange, and like that's supposed to be a statement. You're throwing paint on a Van Gogh and gluing yourself to it, and that's going to change the world. The woke moral activist is only doing that so they themselves can exist in a superior social capital bubble. They actually like the woke WEF agenda because it allows them to act out and be like fucking children and throw paint on buildings, and somehow that's a superior form of social capital because they're fighting the man or whatever. That's not really, it's full of fucking holes when you think about it logically. But, anyone who's throwing paint on a building probably doesn't have, like, they're not thinking too hard. Like, it's not going to do anything. Like, the paint is not going to do anything. But, I mean, it may get a conversation started. Maybe that's besides the point. And this is going all over the place at this point because I'm just showing you my notes and ranting right now. But maybe it'll develop into something. So I'm going to keep going. Right, so gynocentrism and the over-evaluation of feelings as the social currency. So what is a social currency? It's kind of like the unit of account of attention, I would say, and it's peddled a lot in the West and by woke ideologists as feelings. So like your feelings, the feelings matter so much. And in this day and age, to a wokenomics, a woke moralist, the feelings themselves are a superior social currency to anything else you could possibly bring to the table. It doesn't matter what your logic is. It doesn't matter what your thought process is. Their feelings matter more than whatever that is. So now, why did I say that was gynocentric? If you don't know what gynocentric is, let's see if I even know what I'm talking about in my notes here, because I'm going to have to look this up. Dominant, okay, so this, dominant or exclusive focus on women in theory and practice. Anything can be gynocentric. So I feel like the social currency of having feelings matter more than fucking logic is gynocentric, because women, for better or for worse, they have more feelings, okay? They rely on their feelings as their feedback mechanism. I'm not saying women are bad for having those feelings, but what I'm saying is the woke moralists value feelings as a higher form of social currency than anything else. And with those feelings, you know, anything can justify feelings. If I say, I just feel like I hate Taco Bell. If you got enough woke moralists to say that they feel like they don't like Taco Bell, they would cancel Taco Bell. That's what I mean by gynocentrism. Like, it's just like it's just bullshit. It's bullshit. It's bullshit. It's bullshit. What else? ESG and the digital identity, implications for a technocratic socialist utopia. So this kind of goes on to the transhuman agenda. That I'm going to have to expand on more later, because that's part of their fucking plan, to upload your consciousness into Web3, into the fucking metaverse. That kind of goes along with the transhuman agenda and the digital identity. So understand the ideas behind the reset and how this will create opportunities for the New World Order to institute mimetic audiovisual and or social cultural capital and investment via distributed ledger technologies and the potential social engineering plot or plan to enslave humanity. Okay, so that probably sounds like a bunch of crazy stuff, but what I'm going to do on this channel is try and develop all these seemingly disparate ideas and try and really dig into, if someone wants to subjugate and control you and steal from you and do all the things that these assholes have been doing, you know, World Economic Forum pedos. If someone were to do that, what is their next step? What's their next 5 years look like? And that's kind of like the purpose of this channel. So that, I guess, was a little bit of a breakdown of where I'm trying to go with this channel. Please like and subscribe if you found this content interesting, or it helps contribute to your understanding of the Great Reset or what they're trying to do to the world. So thanks. Peace out.